Today we are diving into the 1980 Lincoln cent, a small but significant part of U.S. coinage history. While most of these pennies are common, certain high-grade examples and rare errors can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Stick around as we explore its design, history, rarity, and auction prices. You might have a valuable penny hiding in your collection. History of the 1980 Lincoln cent. The 1980 Lincoln cent continued the long-running Lincoln Wheat and Memorial series, which began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. By 1980, the penny had already undergone a major change in its composition. From 1909 to 1982, U.S. 1-cent coins were primarily made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This made the 1980 penny one of the last years to feature the original copper-heavy composition before the switch to a zinc core with a thin copper coating in 1982. The Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints produced over 14 billion 1980 pennies, making it a very common coin. However, some rare varieties and high-grade examples are worth far more than face value. Design of the 1980 Lincoln cent. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent features a design that has remained familiar to collectors for decades. Obverse, front side, features the right-facing bust of Abraham Lincoln, "In God We Trust," is inscribed above Lincoln's head. Liberty appears to the left. The date, 1980, is located to the right. Coins minted in Denver or San Francisco will have a D or S mint mark below the year-reverse backside. It features the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, United States of America, is inscribed along the top. E pluribus unum appears above the memorial. The denomination 1 cent is found at the bottom. This reverse design remained in use from 1959 to 2008, before being replaced by the Lincoln bicentennial designs in 2009, and the Union Shield design in 2010. Mintage and rarity of the 1980 Lincoln cent. The U.S. Mint produced a total of over 14 billion pennies in 1980, distributed as follows. Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, 7/4/14/705, 000. Denver Mint, D mint mark, 5/140, 098, 660. San Francisco Mint, S mint mark, proof coins, 3/554, 806. Because of these high mintage numbers, most 1980 pennies are only worth face value in circulated condition. However, certain high-grade specimens, proof coins, and error varieties can command high prices at auction. Value of the 1980 Lincoln cent. The value of a 1980 penny depends on its condition, mint mark, and whether it has any rare errors. Circulated condition, worn coins. Face value, $0.01, slightly better condition, 2 cents, $0.10. Since billions of these coins were produced, circulated examples hold little premium value unless they have errors or high grades. Uncirculated condition, mint state grades, MS60 to MS64, 50 cents, $2 MS65, strong luster, few marks, $5, $10 MS66, $20, $50 MS67, pristine example, scarce in this grade, $200, $1, 000 plus auction highlight. A 1980 Lincoln cent graded MS 67 by PCGS sold for over $1, 800. 1980s proof Lincoln cent, San Francisco Mint, per 67. Deep cameo, $5, $10 or 69. Deep cameo, $20, $40 or 70. Deep cameo, perfect grade, $300, $500. Rare errors and varieties of the 1980 Lincoln cent. Certain error coins can make a 1980 Lincoln cent extremely valuable. Here are the top varieties to look for. 1. 1980 off-center strike. Some 1980 pennies were struck off-center, meaning part of the design is missing. Or a 10% off-center strike might be worth $25 to $50, while a 50% off-center example can sell $4 $300 plus. 2. 1980 double die obverse DDO. Some pennies show doubling in the date or lettering due to a misalignment in the die. A strong 1980 DDO penny can be worth $100 to $1,000 plus, depending on the severity of the doubling and condition. 3. 1980 penny struck on a dime planchet. If a penny was accidentally struck on a dime planchet, it will be smaller and silver-colored. These rare errors can be worth $500, $2,000. 4. 1980 broad strike error. A penny struck without a raised rim due to improper die pressure. These errors can be worth $50 to $300 depending on condition. If you think you have a rare variety or error, getting it certified by PCGS or NGC is the best way to determine its true value. How to sell a 1980 Lincoln Cent. If you have a 1980 penny and want to sell it, follow these steps. Check its condition. Coins in MS67 or higher are much more valuable. A look for rare errors. A double die, off-center strike, or planchet error can be worth big money. A get it graded. If you have a high-grade or rare variety, getting it certified by PCGS, NGC, or ANAX will increase its value. A sell online. Websites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Great Collections are great for selling collectible coins. A visit a local coin dealer or show. You can also sell to local coin shops or attend coin shows for potential buyers. Final thoughts. The 1980 Lincoln Cent is an interesting piece of U.S. numismatic history. While most are only worth face value, certain high-grade specimens and rare errors can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you have one, be sure to check its condition, look for rare varieties, and consider getting it graded. You might be holding on to a hidden treasure. That's all for today's deep dive into the 1980 Lincoln Cent. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more coin collecting insights. Thanks for watching and happy collecting!
Welcome back, coin collectors and history enthusiasts. Today, let's take a deep dive into the 1985 Canadian 1-cent coin, a fascinating piece of Canadian numismatic history. While most 1985 pennies are only worth their face value, some rare varieties have sold for thousands of dollars at auctions. If you have a 1985 Canadian penny, you might be wondering, is it rare? Could it be worth a fortune? How can you tell if you have a valuable variety? Stick around, because today, we'll cover everything you need to know about this coin, including its history, design, rare varieties, record auction prices, and how to sell one if you find a valuable piece. History of the 1985 Canadian 1-cent coin. The Canadian 1-cent coin has been a staple of Canadian currency for over a century. First issued in 1858, the penny saw many design changes over the years. By 1985, the 1-cent coin featured the familiar maple leaf design, a symbol of Canadian pride and heritage. The 1985 penny is part of the Queen Elizabeth II series, which began in 1953. However, what makes this year special is the two different obverse, front, designs, which resulted in one rare variety that can be worth thousands of dollars. Design of the 1985 Canadian penny. Obverse, front. The obverse features the right-facing portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This portrait was used on Canadian coins from 1965 to 1989. The inscriptions on the obverse include, Elizabeth II, positioned at the top, DG Regina, meaning, by the grace of God, Queen, a traditional Latin inscription. The key detail that makes the 1985 Canadian penny valuable lies in the shape of the 5 and the date, and we'll talk more about that soon. Reverse, back. The reverse of the 1985 Canadian penny features the iconic maple leaf design, originally created by George Kruger Gray in 1937. The design includes 2 maple leaves attached to a single twig, symbolizing Canada's natural beauty and identity. The word Canada at the top, the denomination 1 cent at the bottom. The year 1985, where a key variety makes all the difference. Rare varieties of the 1985 Canadian penny. The 1985 Canadian penny has 2 distinct varieties, and one of them is extremely valuable. Common variety, blunt 5. The most common version has a blunt-ended 5 in the date. This variety is found on millions of 1985 pennies and is only worth face value in circulated condition. Rare variety, pointed 5. The rare pointed 5 variety has a sharper, more defined point at the top of the 5. This variety was struck with an older die intended for 1984 cents but was mistakenly used in 1985. This is the valuable version. Value and auction prices of the 1985 Canadian penny. Most blunt 5 1985 pennies are worth just 1 cent, but if you have a pointed 5 variety, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars in high grades. Here's a breakdown of recent auction prices. Circulated pointed 5 pennies, common wear, can sell for $50 to $200. Uncirculated MS63 examples have sold $4 $500 to $1,000. High-grade MS-65 examples can sell for $2,000 to $5,000. The highest auction price for a 1985 pointed 5 penny was over $7,000 for an MS-67 graded coin. How to identify the valuable 1985 pointed 5 penny? To check if you have the valuable version, look at the 5 and the date. Blunt 5. The end of the 5 is rounded and thicker. Pointed 5. The end of the 5 is sharp and has a clear, defined tip. If you think you have the pointed 5 variety, consider getting it authenticated and graded by a professional service like PCGS, NGC, or ICCS. How to sell a 1985 Canadian penny for top dollar? If you have a 1985 Canadian penny and want to sell it, follow these steps to maximize your profit. Verify the variety. Make sure it is the rare pointed 5 version. Check the condition. Coins with less wear are worth more. Get it graded. If your coin is in uncirculated condition, getting it certified by PCGS, NGC, or ICCS can increase its value. Sell at an auction. Rare coins sell best at auctions, where collectors compete for the highest bid. List online. Websites like eBay, heritage auctions, or coin forums can attract collectors willing to pay a premium. Visit a coin dealer. A reputable dealer can offer a fair price based on market value. Final thoughts. The 1985 Canadian 1-cent coin is a fascinating piece of Canadian history. While most are only worth a penny, the rare pointed 5 variety can be worth thousands of dollars at auction. If you have one, check the date carefully. You might have a hidden treasure in your collection. That wraps up today's deep dive into the 1985 Canadian penny. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more coin collecting insights.